Hello and welcome to Food City Center, where Tennessee had a really strong first half, but kind of took their foot off the gas in the second half. Still came home with a 20-point win. Final score 88-68. I'm Ryan Sylvia. This is Noah Taylor. We're with VolReport.com on the Rivals Network. And I want to start by talking about the tale of two halves that we saw here tonight. Getting this game started, a 13-0 run for Tennessee. They looked unstoppable. It felt like that was the game just about 3 minutes in when they went off to that run. And it felt like that for probably the next 30 minutes until down the stretch. Tennessee has themselves a 23-point lead. LSU gets a 13-0 run of their own. And all of a sudden, you're looking at the scoreboard. Tennessee calls timeout, I believe, at that point. And it's a 10-point ball game. They get it within 8. That's all they can do. Tennessee finishes strong, wins by 10. But what were your thoughts on kind of the difference between the first and second half that led to that?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned there, it kind of felt like Tennessee was running away with it. From a reporter's perspective, you feel pretty good about the angle of your story, where it's going. And what mine was that Tennessee kind of picked up where they left off against Kentucky. You know, this team looked about as complete as they have looked offensively, because it wasn't just Dalton Connect in Kentucky. And then in this first half, it wasn't just Dalton Connect either. I know he finished this with the team high in points, but you were getting a little bit from everybody, particularly in that first half. You hit 9 3-pointers. You think, they're on their way to putting up, numbers they haven't put up yet this year, shooting from deep. But Zakai Ziegler starts early. Josiah-Jordan James gets in on that early. Finishes with 8 points, but has a good first half there to kind of build that 13-0 lead. And then Jordan Gainey comes off the bench and does some amazing things. Good things happen to Tennessee when Jordan Gainey's giving you double-digit double scoring figures, and played really well. And it just, like you said, seemed like Tennessee was running away with it. And then next thing you know, you look up after that Tennessee timeout, LSU hits a couple threes, and you've got a ball game again. And you've seen that a couple times this year with this Tennessee team. But again, they're able to make the shots down the stretch, and you end up winning by 20. But I think the game was a little bit closer than maybe that final score indicated in those last 3 or 4 minutes.
When you talk about, you have a terrific 3-point barrage that happens against Kentucky. You tie the season high, set the SEC high with 12. In the first half tonight, you go 9 for 14 on 3-pointers. It was 9 for 13 for a while before Zakai kind of had to throw one up there late in the first half. So it looked like you not only picked up where you left off, but it almost seemed certain that they were going to set a new season high in that regard. The second half comes around, you shoot 2 for 10 from 3, just go completely ice cold from beyond the arc. Your field goal shooting's fine in the second half at 52%, but 20% from range. I think that plays a big factor as well, in maybe why the scoring production took a little bit of a drop off, but 88 points, still a really, really solid offensive performance for Tennessee. I think another thing you have to look at, though, is rebounding. Yeah. And you just got killed on the glass. 40-26 rebounding differential in the favor of LSU, a team that lost the game by 20, out-rebounds you by 14. That's not something you see often. It all happened on the offensive end, 18-5 on the offensive rebounding differential in the favor of the Tigers, and that leads to a 20-10 differential in second chance points. What were your thoughts on kind of how the game on the glass developed in the favor of LSU?
Yeah, it's surprising because many teams don't beat Tennessee in that category. Usually Tennessee is kind of the team that's known for out-toughing other teams there, and LSU had a lot of success. It kept them in the game. Like you mentioned, Tennessee missing shots that they were hitting in the first half obviously helped, but LSU getting a chance, getting second chance points, getting a chance to get the ball back and make plays. It was definitely concerning for Tennessee to see them kind of fold that way. And a guy like josiah, who's played really well this season, coming off another double-double against Kentucky. I think he finished with just 5 rebounds tonight. And you would like to see better production there. Like I said, it's rare to see Tennessee do that, especially at home. But ultimately, I mean, if you only saw that stat before the game, you'd probably assume LSU maybe not win, but plays a lot closer. But that's a surprising stat for Tennessee, and something Rick Barnes was adamant about them, being able to clean up.
And part of it was too, he was just kind of like, the ball's in your hands, you got to grab it, and that seemed apparent, especially for the pair of names, Josiah and Tobe Awaka. There wasn't a minute of this game where neither were on the floor. JP Estrella got some time. But when you add up the minutes between Josiah and Tobe Awaka, you get a clean 40. Yet they combined for 6 rebounds, 5 from Jonas Adu. Not a horrible mark, but we've seen him be able to get those double-doubles going. So he's well shy of that. And then Tobe Awaka, who Rick Barnes said, when he's on the floor, his job is to rebound. He comes up with 1 rebound in 11 minutes of play. So obviously, an area Tennessee's going to look to improve on with their bigs, as they just didn't really have a great night. I will say, Jonas Adu plus-minus of plus 31 in the game. Didn't feel like his best game, but when he was on the floor, Tennessee was playing good basketball. Tobe Awaka, team low plus-minus, minus 11. Just kind of the differential there once again. They're playing every minute. That's the 20-point differential right there. Tennessee played really well with Jonas Adu on the floor. I want to talk about Dalton Connect, though. You mentioned how leads the team in scoring. Was a little quieter against Kentucky, 16 points. Well, he exploded here tonight in Food City Center. Finishes with 27 points, 9 for 19 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3, 7 for 9 from the line. But an all-around game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks for Dalton Connect. Is he your SEC Player of the Year?
Yeah, I think so, and especially when he's putting up numbers like that, I think that's a really good sign for Tennessee. Is, you know, we're in the last full month of the regular season now, which is kind of hard to believe. You've got a stretch coming up here that's pretty manageable. It starts with LSU. You don't play any ranked teams, at least teams that are currently ranked, and not a team that has a winning SEC record right now. So there's a chance for him to put up some big numbers there, but at this stage in the season, it's good to see him do more than just put up a lot of points. You saw it tonight. Gets a couple of blocks. He's looking really good on the defensive end. Gets those rebounds. Rick Barnes kind of told us after the game. He said, "We had a chance to get 11 rebounds." So a lot of high standards there on him and really the team as a whole. But when he's putting up numbers like that and giving you all that besides scoring, and he takes a lot of pride in the assist. He said, a lot of confidence in his guys, and it's kind of a byproduct of teams keying in on him. And when Tennessee's able to have other shooters, besides Dalton Connect, and he's able to dish out assists like that, then I think that they're going to be a really hard team to beat.
Now, so your national player of the year, or is it still Zach Edey?
Yeah, I'd have to go Zach Edey right now. They're rolling. He's playing well. It obviously works in his favor. He's the defending national player of the year, and he's not getting any worse. So I think that helps a lot. Certainly in the SEC for Dalton Connect, but I think he's got an argument, and if he puts up numbers like he did tonight and gives Tennessee more than scoring, I think that's going to help a ton too.
Yeah, looking at Vegas, Zach Edey, heavy favorite for National Player of the Year. Dalton Connect, second place though. So if anyone's going to dethrone Zach Edey, it looks like it's going to be here in Knoxville with Dalton Connect. Something kind of note where LSU's head coach, Matt McMahon, talked about after the game is, how do you defend Dalton Connect when you saw what happened at Kentucky, where you maybe key in on him and then look what everyone else does. Look what Josiah-Jordan James does. Look what Zakai Ziegler does. And he said it's almost like a you pick your poison type of situation where if you guard Dalton Connect, if you put all your eggs in that basket, well, then you have to be prepared for the rest of the starting lineup. Santiago Vescovi included, Jonas Adu included when he's having good games, which on that note, Rick Barnes just kind of chalked it up to a slump, which I thought was interesting too, saying you saw Jordan Gainey go through a slump. Look what he did tonight. He's back. Feels similar for Jonas Adu. He kind of seemed like he expected that to be snapped quickly, but one of those guys where if you don't guard Dalton Connect, he could go off. Or maybe you want to guard all 5, and then Dalton Connect has a game like he did tonight where he drops 27, which compared to some of his games, maybe you got off a little bit lucky if you're LSU. So, and then before we get out of here, just want to talk quickly about kind of the guys that helped Dalton Connect along the way. Zakai Ziegler, another one of those guys who picked up where he left off against Kentucky. He finishes with 17 points, 9 assists, and 5 steals. A really good stat line for Zakai Ziegler, who shot the ball really efficiently as well. 6 for 9 from the field, 3 for 6 on 3-pointers. Also shooting 6 for 9 from the field, 3 for 6 on 3-pointers. Jordan Gainey, who's broken out of that slump as well, finishes with 1 more point than Zakai Ziegler with 18 due to an extra free throw, but also comes up with 3 steals, something Rick Barnes talked about in the post-game presser about how he's growing so much on the defensive side of the ball, and he was kind of there to clog lanes on that really active hand. So good stuff from him as Tennessee takes home a 20-point win here in Food City Center. They will be back in action next on Saturday in College Station. An Aggies team that feels pretty beatable, 13-8, 4-4 in the SEC, but this year in college basketball, nothing feels like a safe game, especially on the road. We'll have coverage of it though, so head over to VolReport.com for coverage on that. The Lady Vols making a run here in SEC play to try to kind of save the season. Recently in the ESPN bracketologies, they've moved all the way out of the play-in game, firmly in the field. They need to finish strong, though, to kind of cement themselves in that spot. We have coverage on the Lady Vols, baseball season less than 2 weeks away, and football season, junior day festivities over the weekend. We have recruiting coverage on that. And it's National Signing Day today. Most guys sign early signing day, but a couple Knoxville natives put pen to paper and will be joining the Tennessee Volunteers this upcoming season. We have interviews with them on the site. Links to everything you need is in the description. Thank you for watching.